Have you ever stopped to think just how much of our world runs online now? I mean, our work, our data, even, critical city infrastructure, it's all digital.
It really is. And that immediately brings up the huge question of security, doesn't it? Keeping it all safe from threats that are constantly changing.
Exactly. And that's why today we're doing a deep dive into Fortinet. They're a major name in cybersecurity, and we're going to unpack their latest Q2 2025 financial results.
A key player.
Our mission here is basically to walk you through their newest press release. We'll look at the financials, sure, but also how the market sees them, their strategy.
And pull out the key takeaways.
Right, so you can quickly get a handle on what's really happening with the company right at the heart of protecting, well, our digital existence.
And it's fascinating, isn't it? Because Fortinet really sits at that crossroads of networking and security. They used to be separate worlds almost.
But not anymore.
Not at all. They're completely intertwined now. So understanding a company like Fortinet, it tells you a lot about the whole cybersecurity landscape.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Who exactly is Fortinet? What do they actually do?
Fundamentally.
Yeah. The release calls them a global cybersecurity leader, listed on Nasdaq, FTNT. Their mission is simple: secure people, devices, data. Everywhere.
That everywhere is key.
It seems like it. They talk about delivering cybersecurity everywhere our customers need it, and they mention this huge portfolio, over 50 enterprise-grade products.
That's a lot of ground to cover.
It is. And apparently well over 500,000 customers trust them. They also make these claims, most deployed, most patented, most validated. Sounds impressive, but what's the substance there?
Well, that points to their core strategy, I think. It's not just about selling boxes or software licenses. They're aiming to build a whole security ecosystem.
An ecosystem. How so?
Think about their unified operating system, FortiOS. It's like the common language across all their different products.
Yeah.
Firewalls, endpoint, cloud security, you name it.
So everything talks to everything else smoothly.
Precisely, which is a massive advantage when so many places struggle with dozens of security tools that don't integrate, and this unification empowers their AI approach too.
Makes sense. Better data, better AI.
Right, the AI can see across the whole network, not just one silo. And then you've got Fortinet Labs, these are their threat intelligence experts.
That's research firm.
Exactly. Elite researchers using AI and machine learning, constantly hunting for new threats, analyzing just billions of events.
That intelligence feeds directly back into protecting their customers, often in real time.
So it's a continuous loop.
It is. And they also invest heavily in training with the Fortinet Training Institute.
And billings grew 15% year over year, hitting $1.78 billion. Does that 15% billings figure jump out at you, especially now?
It absolutely does. Look, the cybersecurity market overall has seen a bit of, let's say, moderation in growth rates lately. So seeing Fortinet post double-digit billings growth actually outpacing revenue growth.
What does that suggest?
It suggests strong demand, strong execution. They're likely winning new deals, maybe taking some share and locking in future revenue. Billings often reflect longer-term commitments.
Okay. And within that, specific service areas showed even stronger growth.
Yes. Unified SASE, that Secure Access Service Edge, its annual recurring revenue, or ARR, was up 22% year over year.
SASE is a hot area.
Very hot. And Security Operations ARR, up a really notable 35% year over year. So the demand in those modern security architecture areas is clearly there for them.
And profitability looks healthy, too. GAAP operating margin 28%, non-GAAP 33%.
Very healthy margins, yes.
Which leads into their confidence, right?
Right.
They actually raised their full year 2025 billings guidance by $100 million at the midpoint. Raising guidance is usually a good sign. You mentioned GAAP and non-GAAP. Can you quickly unpack that for listeners? Why show both?
Sure. It's important. GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, is the standard. But non-GAAP often adjusts for things that aren't core operational expenses, like stock-based compensation or amortization of acquired intangibles.
So non-GAAP gives a clearer view of the underlying business profit.
Often, yes. Companies argue it shows the core operational performance better. The fact that Fortinet shows strong margins on both measures is quite positive. It's just good financial discipline.
And the CEO, Ken Shi, commented on this.
He did. He basically said, and I'm quoting roughly here, that the strong Q2 and growth track record come from their innovation and customer focus, letting them beat their own guidance and raise the outlook.
Which, as you said, points to strong execution.
Definitely. Beating your own targets and raising future ones in this competitive market. That speaks volumes about demand and how they're managing the business.
Okay, so the financials paint a strong picture. But numbers aren't everything, are they? What about market perception? Industry recognition?
Right, because validation from experts and customers adds another layer of credibility, and Fortinet highlights quite a bit here.
Like the Gartner Magic Quadrant.
Exactly. They're recognized as a leader in the 2025 Gartner Magic Quadrant for SaaS platforms. That's a big one.
And specifically #1 for a particular use case.
Yes,
Number 1 in the critical capabilities report that accompanies the Magic Quadrant, specifically for the secure branch network modernization use case.
What does that mean, practically, being #1 there?
It means that according it is unique. Think about it. Firewalls, SaaS, wired and wireless LAN infrastructure, SD-WAN. They're recognized as a leader or a major player across all these often separate categories.
So breadth and depth.
That's the implication. It highlights that integrated platform strategy we talked about earlier. Instead of customers having to stitch together solutions from 5 different vendors, Fortinet offers a broad integrated portfolio recognized across the board. They were also named a leader again in the enterprise wired and wireless LAN infrastructure quadrant,
The strong on the network side, too, not just security focused.
which is crucial for things like SaaS and secure branch access. The network and security have to work hand in glove.
And it wasn't just Gartner. Were there other recognitions mentioned?
Yeah, a couple of others stood out. They were named the overall leader in the Westlands Advisory Report for IoT network protection for the 3rd time.
ITOT, so protecting industrial systems.
Exactly. Operational technology. Think factories, power grids, critical infrastructure. Securing that convergence of IT and OT is incredibly important and complex. Being a leader there is significant.
And customer reviews.
That's always telling, isn't it? They highlighted being a Gartner Peer Insights Customer's Choice for SD-WAN for the 6th year running and for endpoint protection for the 3rd year.
Customer's choice means based on actual user feedback.
Correct. Verified reviews from people actually using the products day in, day out. Consistent recognition there suggests customers are genuinely satisfied with the solutions in practice.
And all this recognition, you'd assume, is linked to their innovation efforts.
Directly. The release mentions crossing 1,400 issued patents globally. And interestingly, over 500 issued and pending patents specifically related to AI.
Wow, 500 AI patents. That's a serious focus.
It really signals where they're investing heavily, and that R&D pipeline keeps feeding new products and services like the 3 new native services they added to FortiCloud, FortiIdentity, FortiDrive, and FortiConnect.
Expanding the platform further.
Always expanding, always integrating. That seems to be the mantra.
Okay, this all sounds very positive, very strong. You know, press releases tend to highlight the good news. Are there any maybe underlying risks or challenges someone following Fortinet should keep in mind? Things not necessarily in the release.
That's a fair question. Look, no company is without challenges. The cybersecurity market is fiercely competitive. You have huge established players, disruptive startups popping up all the time.
It's constant pressure to innovate.
Intense pressure. Fortinet has to keep running fast just to maintain its position, let alone grow. Also, while their integrated platform is amazing,
Team smooth ride.
Good context. So, bearing that in mind, what is Fortinet telling us about the road ahead? Let's look at their guidance.
right, their projections. For
No.
Q3 2025, they're expecting revenue between $1.670 billion and $1.730 billion.
Oh, yeah.
And billings for Q3 are projected between $1.760 billion and $1.840 billion. So, continued growth expected there.
And for the full year 2025.
For the full year, revenue guidance is $6.675 billion to $6.825 billion. And they specifically break out service revenue.
Which you mentioned was growing fast.
Exactly. Service revenue for the full year is projected to be between $4.550 billion and $4.650 billion. Notice how much larger that is than the implied product revenue.
Yeah, that's a significant chunk, much more than half. What's the takeaway from that service-heavy projection?
It really underscores their shift towards recurring revenue. Services like subscriptions, support, threat intelligence feeds create a more predictable, stable revenue stream compared to one-off product sales.
More stability, higher margins probably too.
Generally, yes, higher margins and stickier customer relationships. It's a sign of a maturing, healthy business model aligning with how customers want to consume security today as an ongoing service.
Makes sense. And what about overall financial health indicators? Cash flow, shareholder returns.
They highlighted strong cash flow. Net cash from operating activities was over $1.3 billion for the first half of 2025. So the business is generating significant cash.
And they're returning some of that to shareholders.
Seems so. They mentioned an active share repurchase program, spent about $401 million buying back and retiring stock in the first 6 months of the year.
Okay, so putting it all together, strong Q2, positive industry recognition, solid guidance, good cash flow, returning capital.
Yeah, if you zoom out, the picture they're painting is one of a company executing well, managing its finances strategically, and feeling confident about its position and future growth, which they'll no doubt be discussing further at investor conferences coming up in August and September.
Wait, so to wrap things up for everyone listening, Fortinet's Q2 showed strong top-line growth, especially in key service areas like SaaS and security ops, paired with really healthy profits. Their leadership position seems validated by a whole raft of industry reports and customer feedback, really highlighting that broad, integrated platform approach driven by R&D, especially in AI.
The consistency across different areas is notable.
Definitely. And looking forward, the raised guidance and the clear shift towards service revenue suggest continued momentum in this absolutely critical cybersecurity market.
Which leaves us with a final thought, perhaps. Given everything we've discussed Fortinet's wide portfolio, their focus on AI, that integrated platform strategy, how do you think the constantly shifting cyber threat landscape will continue to drive demand for these kinds of unified solutions? And what does that mean for companies like Fortinet right at the forefront of that convergence?
Something to definitely keep watching. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Fortinet's latest performance. We hope this gave you a clearer, more informed perspective on this key cybersecurity player.